All right, so moving on to Champions League, I want to hit the women first because there were only a couple notable things that happened in Women's Champions League last week. One was Vakifbank beating Monza 3-1. That was a pretty convincing performance from Vakifbank. You can see them there in Pool B. They have already won that pool, as has Rzeszów, the best team in Poland in Pool A. They've won that pool as well. So there's really not that much going on there. The drama comes here on this screen. So Pool D is actually very competitive. Fenerbahce and Dinamo Kazan have really gone at each other in this pool already, and I think they still have to play again. But Pool C is where the drama was this past week. So I think last week on the show we talked about Novara versus THY being the super match of the week last week. It was featured on Wednesday. Novara had just been coming out of a big COVID outbreak. They only had 9 players make the trip to Istanbul. No Abrar Karakurt, which was a shame. They were missing the starting libero. They're missing one of their middles. And no Britt Herbots as well, which is funny because I hosted the European volleyball show for the CEV right before the match. And like literally in the last minute, like an hour before the show was supposed to start, my colleague from the CEV texted me and was like, hey, I know you were planning on doing the show by yourself. We have a guest for you last minute. I need you to change up everything for the show to make it work and accommodate this guest. I'm like, oh, you can't tell me last minute like this. Who's the guest? I'm like, it's Britt Herbots. I'm like, wait, what? A player from the team that's playing in the match is joining the show like 30 minutes before first serve. So that was weird.
It's Britt Herbots.
Yeah,
like, I'd love to talk to Britt
she's
Herbots.
Awesome. Yeah, so I had a great time talking to her. It was totally worth it. Yeah, she was sitting in her apartment in Italy watching her team play a match in Turkey. Now, where the drama comes in is before that match, Novara was undefeated in the pool. They were perfect at 4-0 and 12-0 in sets. And this is one of the pools that we were looking at coming into Champions League Women that had 3 legitimate contenders in the pool. And there are not very many pools like that. Honestly, might be the only one. So the fact that Novara was undefeated at that point was really amazing. And I actually got a text from the same CEV guy while I had Britt Herbots on the show that Dynamo Moscow had forfeited their match against Liberec from the Czech Republic last week, and that Liberec was going to take that win by default 3-0. And that because of that, Moscow would then have been 3-2, and Novara at 4-0 with perfect set ratio would have won the pool mathematically. And Novara knew that to be true. They got the news that Dinamo had to forfeit that match to Liberec and that they had won the pool mathematically. So even though they went to THY with only 9 players in Istanbul and lost in 4, they thought, they were told that they had won the pool until the Dinamo versus Liberec match was unforfeited and was then rescheduled to be played this week on this Sunday. So this Sunday, the 13th, now Dinamo is playing. That match against Liberec has been rescheduled, and that changes everything about this pool because Novara went to Istanbul with only 9 players and lost. But you better believe they would have handled that match a little bit differently if they didn't know for a fact that they had already won the pool. If that news hadn't gotten to them, I guarantee you that match goes differently. So to forfeit a match and then unforfeit it, is unforgivable. And I to some degree, I represent the CEV, so I can never say this on the European Volleyball show, but I will say it here. You can't do that. And Novara agrees. They Novara and then the Lega Volley Femminile on behalf of Novara have sent a very angry letter to the CEV about this situation because dude, can you blame them? Come on.
I can't blame them at all. But let's
everything.
Let's be honest. This is a fuck up of like F1 proportions. Okay, we're gonna run like the next cars through. We're gonna let Max just take the championship. Because who does that? Who unforfeits a game? Like that's absolutely ridiculous. And let's be honest here. If the FIVB is 3 boomers in a trench coat, then the CEV is 3 Gen Xers in a trench coat. A little bit better, a little bit more with it, but still completely out of touch and out of base with what's going on in reality.
Yeah, I mean, they're a lot better digitally, a lot better with media. But in terms of tournament structure, they've got a ways to go on the Champions League format because even Giovanni Gudetti of Vakifbank was really laying into the Champions League structure. He's like, why does my club have to spend all this money to go to Finland to play some
Play
bad
for an hour.
right to play for an hour and then fly all the way back. And why does that Finnish team have to spend all the money to get smoked in 6 matches in the 4th round and go home? Like, and he's right. You can't argue with him about that. I agree with him that the Champions League would be better if there were more qualification rounds and less teams in the 4th round here. Well, you've also got to rename it completely. Why are we calling this the 4th round? It's absurd. I know you've complained about that before. But like, so the structure of Champions League needs a bit of reevaluation. I agree with that. But most importantly, you cannot unforfeit a match. The CV, the organization cannot deem a match to be forfeit, cannot log that match in all official platforms as being forfeited, and then undo that. That is not acceptable. So I understand the Italian Federation's complaint about this, because not only does it hurt Novara, it actually also hurts Monza. So if you look at this list, the ranking of the second place teams, Monza has to contend with Dinamo Moscow right underneath them as far as teams that have a chance at making it out of their pool as a second place team. And Monza's going to win their last game. They're going to go 4-2 with probably 12 points. But Dinamo Moscow, if they go 3-2 with 7 points, they're done. This hurts both Monza and Novara, kind of backhanded for Monza. So I understand why the Italian Federation is complaining to the CEV about this. You cannot unforfeit a match.
No, you can't. And I mean, let's be honest. All the Champions League is once again, a bunch of white guys sat in an office went like, what does soccer do? They have a Champions League? Okay, we have a Champions League. What's the format? Okay, that's the format. We have the format. Now in soccer it works because you've got a multi-billion-dollar TV deal kind of across the world, and you've got countries from everywhere. Like, we watch Champions League here in North America, completely fine. It's what helped the big revolution that's turned soccer around, and why Canadian soccer is so good and beating your guys' asses 2-0 last week.
Who cares?
Right? I do. And a lot of people do in Canada. But there's a reason that the Champions League soccer works, because it's a global phenomenon. Their own countries don't care about Champions League, right? Champions League can't be the same the way as soccer, because it just doesn't hold the same market value that it does. So it leads to this terrible format. I mean, and let's be honest, the fact that there's like 5 pools, so the 5 winners and then the next 3, like, it's all horseshit. It's just really all horseshit. So let's be original for once, volleyball. Let's go out, let's create a system and a structure that works for our sport, that works for the confines within which we work. It's not just being like, what does soccer do? Let me put my monocle up here and take a look. From afar. I'm not actually going to go in and check things out.
No,
I'm certainly not going to
put certainly not going to put boots on the ground and understand what the competitions are actually like. Yeah, the format of Champions League, just not only just to roast the way it is, but to give a suggestion for what I think it should be, closer to what it was last year in the COVID year, because right now this format is extremely wasteful. For every team in the 4th round to play 6 matches and 3 of them away in various different countries, like Zaksa right now on the men's side, which we'll talk about in a minute, is on the way to Siberia for a second time. That is incredibly wasteful. Do a little bit more like what you did last year during the COVID year, when you get all 4 teams in the pool in the same place for a weekend, and you play whatever it was, I think 2 matches total, or however, condense it more. Pack the matches in more. It will save all the clubs money. It will save broadcasting resources in a big way, and it will put the spotlight more on the competition if you can get them all in the same couple days. They're doing that in the middle of the weeks this time. They can do better with in terms of the way it's scheduled, but also the whole like 5 pools of 4 thing, terrible mathematically. Anybody who knows anything about tournament format, you don't do anything with odd numbers ever. This should clearly be a 16-team competition. Clearly. With 8 teams making it out. No messing around with this like top 3 of the 5 second place teams crap. Like, that makes no sense. So much better could be done with this. And this is because I love the Champions League. It is the best club competition.
One of the best competitions we have in all of volleyball.
It's awesome. The matches are absolutely electric. I love watching Champions League. I can't get enough of Champions League volleyball. Just today, we had Marseille beating Ziraat Bankasa in 5. That was their first set they've even won the entire competition. They shook up everything on the men's side, which is amazing. Like, the matches are insane. I love watching Champions League every year. But there's so much better that you can do with this. Be less wasteful. Be more conscious of how you can spotlight the competition in great matches. don't don't waste travel, don't waste broadcasting resources, and make a tournament format make sense, please.
Here's what I think it should be. Um, you ever played in like a beach league or like an adult league where it's like three, like you have weekly games and you have three teams per like pool per pod, and you play two games, and if you win one, if you win your games, you move up. If you get second, you stay, and if you get third, you move down. Why don't we take Champions League, CEV Cup, Challenge Cup, all put it together, and you rank all of the teams that qualify like 1 through whatever 60 if you want, and let them play off in these weekly games so that you always have like those top tier teams are always playing other top tier teams, and you don't have these lower level teams playing off each other. Then you're just going to promote more games. You're going to promote more like equal competition between the other countries. Like I want to see more matches. Like though I sometimes like the CEV Cup better than the Champions League, because let's be honest, 75% of Champions League suck. Right, 75% of the matches in Champions League are just absolute blowouts. Where one team isn't playing their guys, and the other team is just happy to be there. Right. So
thanks for participating.
Thanks for participating. Absolutely right. So let's change it up so that there's some meaningful matches. Because let's be honest, there's only a handful of teams that can win it every year. Let's have those teams beat each other up throughout the season. I think that's way more exciting than what we have than what we have now. You know, I love watching like that Ziraat Bankasi versus Masek. Those are the matches I love. Like Turkey versus Belgium. Like let's get into it, right? Like let's let Poland and Italy and Russia compete on one side, and then let's let all the others duke it on the other side. Like that's like way more meaningful volleyball than anything else we have.
Yeah, and you can set that up in a way that the teams in like the second tier, whatever, can easily play their way up to Champions League caliber, and then the teams that are like the best team in a bad volleyball country that get crushed in Champions League, move them down to CEV Cup after they lose in Champions League. Like don't give them a participation trophy for Champions League.
Destroy all
Make
it
all
of those
one
things.
thing.
Destroy all of it, and then by the end of it, you would have like if you finish like from first to eighth, you're in the tier 1 championship. You finish from 9th to whatever, like 32nd. It's the CEV Cup, and then the rest of them the Challenge Cup. Let's do it that way. Right. You know what, Rob? We're just solving all of volleyball's problems tonight. That's what we're doing.
Hey, and what's nice is that we're not only
Finn Taylor, call us up. Let's go.
Yeah, seriously. We're not just roasting the powers that be. We are coming up with solutions for you. They're yours. Again, like we said a couple shows ago, we want to be part of the solution here. Everett and I are both more than happy to give as many ideas as you guys can possibly want, because everything that we say on this show is better than anything in mainstream volleyball.
What do you have to lose? Like statistically, seriously, we're the worst sport on the planet. Like, I mean, that's not a joke. I wish it was, but like, no one watches volleyball, so let's shake it up somehow.
Even though it's so awesome, and a competition like Champions League is just the best, and it can be formatted in a way that capitalizes on that. So,